What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today I want to talk about Iron Banner. Specifically, I want to talk about the loot rewards for Iron Banner, but I've been having a ton of fun in Iron Banner this week. The lag issue seems to be a lot less, well, awful than it has been in the past, so I've actually been having a good time competing. But they changed up the way the loot works now with Update 2.0. So after the Taken King, Iron Banner loot works a little bit differently. It used to be that you jump into the Iron Banner, you get up to Reputation 2, 3, 4, 5, and as those reputation levels, as those ranks increase, you could buy gear from Lord Saladin with Glimmer. Now this stuff, it was not cheap. It was actually really expensive, and I often found myself grinding for Glimmer so that I could afford all of the stuff I wanted from Lord Saladin, which I think was a failure on Bungie's part, right? Instead of actually competing in the Iron Banner, I was out at the exclusion zone farming for Glimmer just so I could afford to buy the stuff I wanted to buy. Let's say he had boots like he has this week. If I wanted to buy all those boots for each of my characters, plus a weapon or two, then I had a lot of grinding of Glimmer to do. Now, they've changed it up, right? Now it doesn't cost Glimmer to buy this stuff anymore. Instead, it costs legendary marks. Here's the problem. Legendary marks are harder to get than Glimmer is. You can run your daily Crucible event, you can run your daily story, you can run the heroic strike playlist for a while and get those legendary marks. Hell, you can even get, I think, around 75 per character by just completing bounties with Lord Saladin himself. The problem is, if you bought anything else throughout the week, or if you're just broke on legendary marks, that's a lot of grinding to get the stuff you want from Lord Saladin. Now, Bungie says they addressed this, right? Or they said they addressed this before we actually got a chance to play the Iron Banner in year 2. They said that instead of buying stuff, the primary way you're going to be getting stuff from the Iron Banner is through loot drops at the end of matches. There's a problem with this though, and I've seen it complained about a lot on Twitter. I've seen it complained about in my friends list. You know, it came up on chat during the stream today. People aren't getting drops. You know, the drop rate for the Crucible in general seems to have been dropped tremendously since what it was with the House of Wolves. With the House of Wolves, you get drops from the Crucible all the time. It seemed really, really common. But now, you hardly see anything. You know, maybe 1 out of every 10 matches or so, you'll get something worthwhile. It seems like it may even be more than that. It's just really, really rare to get a legendary drop from the Crucible. And it doesn't seem to have changed for the Iron Banner. So, with the Iron Banner, I expected to, you know, be able to play some Iron Banner, get up to rank 4, rank 5, and start getting those legendaries to drop, you know, that new Iron Banner loot to drop. But it's just not going that way for me. I haven't seen a single drop in all the games I've been in, and I've probably played, I don't know, 20 to 30 games of Iron Banner already. I've only seen 2 Iron Banner loot drops, and that's not a lot, and I'm not the only person who's having this problem. A lot of people are having this problem. I've been looking at, you know, Twitter feeds that are complaining about the Iron Banner not dropping loot. And that's a problem because those legendary marks are so hard to come by, it's not easy to just go out and buy those like it once was. Now, I didn't like the old system, don't get me wrong. Farming for Glimmer was not my idea of fun. I don't like sitting in the exclusion zone and just killing things over and over again, dying, you know, rinse and repeat. I thought that was a very boring way to spend my time. And the fact that Lord Saladin's gear was so expensive meant that I had to do that probably twice every weekend if I wanted, you know, a lot of the stuff that Lord Saladin was selling. Let's say he was selling helmets, right? Helmets, he doesn't sell helmets too often, so when he does, I know that I definitely got to get one for each of my characters, assuming I actually want that helmet. And they're usually pretty cool looking, so I definitely want to get them. So what I do is, you know, I rank one character up to level 5, I rank the next character up to level 5, I rank the next character up to level 5, but you don't really earn a whole lot of Glimmer in the Crucible itself, so I'd go over to the exclusion zone, farm for a bunch of Glimmer, and go buy what I needed. But now that's a lot harder. It's harder to farm for legendary marks than it was for Glimmer. Again, you have to run heroic playlists, you have to run the dailies, and there seems to be a real hard limit as to how much you can actually earn in a specified amount of time, and you can't really save it up either. You know, you can hold on to about 200 legendary marks, but let's be honest with ourselves, you know, we're using this stuff for everything at this point. We're using it to buy stuff from vendors. We're using it to buy, you know, just to upgrade our weapons, you need to use legendary marks. So legendary marks are fairly valuable. So I was thinking that since Bungie said, you know, your primary way of getting gear from Lord Saladin would be as drops from the end of matches in the Iron Banner, I took them at their word for this and I wasn't too worried about it. But man, it needs to be adjusted. I really think that the drop rate for the Iron Banner and for gear for the Iron Banner needs to be adjusted, and it needs to be adjusted pretty well, you know? I've seen 1 or 2 drops total from all the time I've spent in the Iron Banner so far. That's not for me, that's for everybody I've seen in the post-game report, and that's not a lot. So I definitely like to see that get adjusted from Bungie. So hopefully they're gonna jump on that pretty quick. You know, Trials of Osiris is right around the corner. I wonder if the drop rate will be as low for Trials gear as it is for Iron Banner gear. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video, hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you next time.